Hello and welcome to episode 511 of Contending at the Water Cooler. I'm your host, Clarence Moy, and I am joined by the other two M's. Let's go around the cooler and tell the listeners who you are and where they can find you on the internet. Megan, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Megan McLaughlin. You can find me on the internet at Hey Dude Meg.
Joseph?
Hi, I'm Joey Moser. You can find me on Twitter at JoeyMoser83.
And again, I'm Clarence Moy. You can find me on Twitter at Clarence Moy. Hello, guys. We're in summer. Welcome to summer. I'm sure it's hot wherever you are.
Jesus.
Very
It's
hot.
disgusting.
Yeah.
There's
Mr.
like a
Wilson.
Poor Mr. Wilson.
He was laying on a vent today, a cold air
Aw.
vent. Yeah, I felt really bad for him.
He's a smart dog.
I know.
There's like a heat dome over most of the United States, although I think it breaks by the end of the week. So,
oh, that's good to know.
all I know is my upstairs air conditioning cannot keep up with the heat that is contained in my attic.
Oh, God.
So it is like 76 degrees in this room I am recording in, and I am burning up.
Wow. It was when I came home, it was 82 degrees in my house because I turned the air off.
Oh, Megan, what are you doing?
Well, because it was all rainy and cold when I left. So, and I thought, I don't like. Do you keep the air conditioning on when you're gone?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in a warmer. I'm in a warmer climate than you are. But if the house heats up to 78, 80, it takes a long time to get it back down. So you're almost burning as much. I don't know. Somebody will tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like you're burning as much energy trying to cool it as you are just keeping it at a consistent level.
No, you're probably right.
But you're in Pittsburgh, so right?
Yeah. Yes, I am in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
For some reason that came out of my mouth, and I was like, "That's not." But anyway, how are you, Joey?
Good. I'm. My what?
Are you rapping Pride?
Oh no, Pride is all year long. No, there's I was telling Megan earlier today that like someone said something. Oh, I'm sad Pride is over. I was like, it's still June. Like, the last Pride we'll ever have. Might as well hold on to it.
It's busting out all over.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, happy Pride to you and all of our listeners.
Yeah.
So,
gay.
Yes.
Hey.
Did you say gay?
Gay.
All right, so let's get going. This week, we are all about lists. We are going to talk about, because it is the thing to talk about and the thing to host on Twitter, we're going to talk about the New York Times poll of the 100 best movies of the 21st century. We're not going to talk about the poll itself, which admittedly I have not read, but they did include a handy little link that allows you to create your top 10 films of the first quarter of the 21st century. And we all did that. And so we'll share our top 10 at this particular moment. We were talking about it a little bit before we recorded, and it's like, it depends on what mood I'm in. Like, because
what I remember.
Yeah. What you remember, because it's, it's a lot to go through. And there's a lot of movies that have been released for the past 25 years. But like, I love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And, Megan, you included that in your list, spoiler alert, but it was something that I was struggling with. And I'm sure, Joey, you've got things on your list that I did glance at your list. I don't remember all the titles on it, but I'm sure there are things on there that I was struggling with. So, this can change with tastes. But anyway, this is where we are at this point in time. And then, of course, as an annual tradition, we always list our favorite films and television shows. Actually, I think we only do television shows, but this year we're adding films because we're a new brand. And of the year at the halfway mark. So favorite television shows, favorite films of 2025 at the halfway point. But first, before all of the lists, Megan is going to talk about her experience at the Bentonville Film Festival, hobnobbing with Gina Davis and Lucy Liu and other talented actresses from this weekend.
I every time that I would say Lucy Liu, I'd say, and my girl Drew, Cameron D, and Destiny. And no one knew what I was talking about. So I hope Please count. The gays have to help me out there. Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Charlie's Angels. Come on.
Yes.
I was gonna say, is that a Charlie's Angels rap?
Yes, it was a Charlie's Angels. It was from the Destiny's Child song, "Independent Woman." So yeah, I was in Arkansas from Thursday to Sunday, and the Bentonville Film Festival is this festival that Gina Davis is the spearheading. That it's about being inclusive. It has directors of color, women of color, LGBTQ people, disability rights. It covers a lot of, yes, happy Pride. It covers a lot of areas, kind of uplifting voices that are underrepresented, which it's fantastic. And so I got to moderate a couple films, which was fun, and then I also got to see a few films. Including Lucy Liu and Rosemead, which is the film that won Best Narrative Film, which was a really exciting film to watch. It's directed by Eric Lynn, and he co-wrote it with a screenwriter named Marilyn Fu, and it's based on a true story about a mother who has cancer, and she also has a schizophrenic son, and it's really good. And Lucy Liu is fantastic in it. And after watching it, I do think she's going to get, like, it doesn't have a distributor yet, but I think it will get one. And she's going to get some awards buzz for it. Because she completely loses, like, you don't see her in this. She's not Lucy Liu. And it's like the best role of her career, I think. And I got to talk to her on the red carpet about it, which was really cool, especially like seeing it and then getting to talk to the people in it, like right after it was really cool. And I also saw I saw Adult Children ahead of time, which I want to shout out that movie that Clarence, I think you would really like. It's directed by Rich Newey and a husband and wife team. His wife, the wife who wrote it is Annika Marks, and it's loosely based on her life. So they're like a husband and wife writing and directing team. And it's about 3 adult children kind of staying at home to one like week with their younger sister who's about like 20 years younger than them. And it's kind of like, it has a John Hughes vibe. That's what Tommy Sadowski talked about talking about the film, was saying that it has like a John Hughes type of vibe. But it's really good, really funny and really sharp, and fast paced too, where you have to kind of like keep up with the family tree and figure out what's going on. So I really enjoyed that one too. I'm trying to think of other things that I saw. Oh, Horizon was really good. With the Maria Bakalova. Is that how you say her last name?
Mm-hmm.
From Borat. That was a really interesting film. I saw a documentary about Sesame Street Talk about Sonia Manzano, Maria from Sesame Street, was good. And yeah, it was just a really fun fest. One of the highlights, though, one of the things they do that's really cool that I think you guys would like, is that Gina Davis and the people who are being honored all like do these scenes from films where they gender reverse things. So they did, like, the first thing they did was like Stranger Things, where all of the women were playing the boys, like, and Shorha Aga. Oh, I always say her name wrong. You know who I'm talking about, Joey?
No.
From
Agatha what?
House of Sand and Fog.
Oh, Shara Agdashlu.
Yes, she was playing one of the boys, the teenage boys, and she was really funny. But so they do gender reversal things, like they did Avengers, which they had at Avenge Hers. And it was really fun to see this, and it's just like an exercise they do every year that's become a tradition that I really love to see. I also got to see Elmo with Gina Davis, which was super cool. And was adorable too. And then I also got to talk to Gina Davis. So that interview will be coming out shortly.
Oh my God, I cannot believe you met Gina Davis.
I know, and she was very nice. But yeah, that's about it. I want to shout out some of the independent films that I moderated too. Abigail Before Beatrice, which is this like cult drama. And then I also moderated West of Greatness, which was this like kind of like a mockumentary or documentary hybrid about a muscle building competition. And it was really cool to get to talk to them about the making of the film and everything. So yeah, it was a really fun time.
It sounds like you had a great time. I do have one question. Why
Sure.
Bentonville, Arkansas?
I can't remember if anybody answered that, but I know that it's where Walmart is located, right?
Right,
Like
yes.
the headquarters. I was reading somewhere about, I can't remember why they chose it, but it's somewhere online. But I also think I do like that it's in the middle of like literally middle America, and it's just showing, it's not in a more obvious location and
Right.
of uplifting voices. So I think that's probably part of it, but I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, I assumed it had something to do with, the sponsor is probably a huge
Yes.
benefit there, but also, I mean, I think it's neat to bring, different perspectives to an area of the country where a lot of people just assume, it's red state kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
So very good. Well, you have in our post, I have linked to the tag for the Bentonville Film Festival so that people can go back and read all of Megan's posts in case you missed it over the weekend. And of course, look forward to that Gina Davis interview, which will be coming up very shortly.
Yeah, great.
All right, very good. Let's move to the top films, our personal top films of the 21st century, a quarter into it. And I was joking with Megan and Joey. I don't know that I was really joking because I don't know. It was a dark turn, let's say that. Too bad we won't get to complete that list. Because
it is so dark.
I know, so dark. But I'm it's been a year. Okay. It's been a decade this year.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Anyway, let's not talk about unpleasant things. Let's talk about our top 10 films of the 21st century. So, Joey, what are your 10 favorite films so far of the 21st century when you completed this exercise 3 hours ago?
Well, I also said online, like the minute I clicked submit, I thought of like a bazillion other movies. So I feel like everyone who does this should not take it seriously, not just us, but like other people in the world that do it. So my list is let's even go in order of year. No particular order. I have Best in Show.
Mulan. I thought about putting that on there.
Yeah.
I did. I forgot that came out in the 2000s, so I was because I was like, oh, I want to.
It was 2000, right?
It was 2000, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's probably my favorite one, that and Waiting for Guffman, but I think Waiting for Guffman is like 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
So Best in Show, Moulin Rouge. I had an incredibly surreal experience seeing that at the Ziegfeld Theater in 2001 in New York City. Far from Heaven, The Dreamers, Brokeback Mountain, Cache, No Country for Old Men. My eyes are bouncing around. No Country for Old Men, The Social Network, Parasite, and All of Us Strangers.
Oh,
excellent.
All of Us Strangers.
That's a great list.
I include All of Us Strangers because neither, like Clarence and I were in the same city when I saw that movie. We were both at Middleburg, but like really stupidly emotional reaction that I had to that movie in a little. It was at the.
Was it the library?
No. It's the place where we saw Eileen. That's the library.
Oh, in the community center.
Yeah, in the community center, it was like a 9 a.m. screening. Everyone had already seen it by that point. It was me and like 6 other people, and I was sitting by myself. And I went like sobbing at the end of it uncontrollably. And I was like, I don't know why I'm having this reaction. It was such a weird, surreal experience. Yeah.
It's a really great movie. And I guess I should say, I don't know how you both approach this list. Like, I understand No Country for Old Men is something that I also wrestled with. It is a great film. It is not a personal favorite of mine, so I did not include it on my list. But I understand that it is, and I will, I will not argue when I say that it is a better than 80% of my list in terms of classic cinema. It is just not something that I revisit frequently, like the ones that I do on this list, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I approached this.
I approached it completely differently. So that's funny.
Well, how did you approach it?
I approached it as things that I just think that have furthered film in some way and also predicted where we are in 25 years. Like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I think is like a romance that could come out today and feel very timely, and it came out 21 years ago. I think Somewhere by Sofia Coppola, that's my favorite Sofia Coppola film. I think it highlights the loneliness of like, celebrity, which I think is something we're seeing play out a lot in real time right now. Just going on social media and seeing people have meltdowns. But this is one where, it's not a public meltdown, but I think Dunkirk really pushed the envelope in terms of how you can tell stories. It's my favorite Christopher Nolan film because it it's got one being told in 10 minutes, one's in an hour, one's in a day. I just love the way it plays with time in that way, and it does it in a historical sense, which I think adds some gravitas to it. I think The Wrestler is just as highlighting a story of people that are overlooked, which are professional wrestlers, what is considered not an art, which is considered not an athletic thing, not a sport. And I think that is even something that is people are gravitating towards right now. And I think it's stood the test of the last 16, 17 years that's come out. I think it's really strong and really sad. I think The Social Network is just probably the best, I think, of the last 25 years. I still can't believe it didn't win Best Picture. And I think that Barbie is something that we'll be talking about for a while, for its feminism, for its just the way the production design, the costumes, the way it furthered storytelling in so many ways when it comes to toys and not making it. I mean, it's product placement, but it's not. I just thought it was genius. I guess Drive I just put on there was because it's a personal favorite, because I think it's so much style and such a little piece of the time period of probably of the middle of the 25 years of the 21st century that everybody was wanting to be Ryan Gosling at that point. Actually, I think the most influential film on my list is Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. And I think it's because think about all of the biopics, the music biopics that have come out since, and how they are following that same damn formula. And Dewey Cox was just so ahead of the time, ahead of his time. And that is a really funny movie too. And Arrival is just a film that I think is so beautiful and says so much. It just blew my mind when I first saw it, and it still blows my mind thinking about it. And then Almost Famous is just probably just a personal favorite that I thought kicked off this new century in a way that it was looking back, but also looking forward in so many ways. So that's my list.
That's a really great list. Very interesting choices that I would not have necessarily pegged you for. So I like the way you approached it. I think that's totally viable and very thoughtful. So
thank you. Well, okay, I'm
not
sorry.
that you needed
I jumped in.
No, please. We're good.
I was gonna say I want to hear what you're how did you approach it?
Oh, I just looked at what are my favorite films that I can rewatch frequently. What are things that I want to revisit? What are things that I see different things in every time that I rewatch it? What are movies that from the last 25 years that I can never get tired of watching? That's kind of how I approached it. Just things that had a personal connection to me. Starting my list would be Almost Famous, which I think is Cameron Crowe's best film by a long shot, his most personal film, and it is I have a lot of great memories associated with this film. I've seen it multiple times. Just when we talk about the Academy, I mean, it why they did not nominate this for Best Picture is beyond me and completely insane. But he did win his Oscar for screenplay for it. So Almost Famous, and then this one surprised me. It is the film probably on this list that I think I've seen the most, and that is 2004's Mean Girls. It is one of the most quotable films to come out of the first quarter of the 21st century. But not only that, it is a brilliant take on a very specific topic about teenage girls and their power struggles and their interpersonal relationships. It's actually based off of a novel, a book, a nonfiction book, Queen Bee's. I can't remember the exact title, but it's Queen Bee's.
Yeah.
And so it's basically a sociological study of teenage girls at this moment. And so Tina Fey wrote this brilliant screenplay based on that nonfiction book. And having raised a daughter through high school, I can tell you that those stereotypes still exist. Those archetypes are absolutely there. In fact, for a very long time, my daughter traveled in a pack of three. That was a 100% a Regina George. That was 100% the and I'm forgetting the names of the characters.
Gretchen Wieners and Karen
Ava was the Gretchen Wiener because her secrets are in her hair, and and there was the dumb one by Amanda Seyfried. Karen, that's her name, right?
Yeah. What did I say? Yeah, Karen Smith.
Yeah, Karen. So I love Mean Girls. I think it's a really, again, No Country for Old Men is a better film than Mean Girls. I just personally enjoyed Mean Girls much more.
But is it a better? Is No Country for Old Men better than Mean Girls?
I'm not going to have that conversation.
Isn't it all subjective?
Whoa, little lady, let me tell you about filmmaking.
There are films that I put on my list. Like, I guess that, like, if I was really going to put like a list of the best, in my opinion, I'd put like Jumbo. I'd put that Killer Tire movie. I'd put like Gloria Bell. I'd put Happy Go Lucky. I'd put like movies that I just think are insane.
I'm actually surprised Happy Go Lucky's not on your list.
It was almost on my list, and then I took it off because I was like, oh, everybody's gonna be like, Megan picked the but no, it was, I kind of swapped in Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, which I was thinking of more universal themes too, of what people like. That's what I was kind of thinking. But like Killer Tires and Roller Coasters You Want to Fuck are like right up my alley. And I like, if I were gonna, I actually thought I should go back, recreate the list and be like, here's my real list. I'm doing that.
You should definitely do that. Jumping forward on my list to 2007, I had two films from that year. No, that's okay. I needed to include, since Pixar films were such an integral part of my children's upbringing, I needed to include one film from their trilogy of, really not trilogy in terms of thematic relations, but just in terms of three great films, that their three film run of WALL-E, Ratatouille, and Up. And of those three, I think Ratatouille is the better film. Love that movie. My kids love that movie. And it's like, it's all about cooking, and it's about being a critic, and it's about criticisms and trying something new. And they're just like, they just loved it. It was one of those proud parent moments. Also in 2007, there are two David Fincher films on my list. The first here is Zodiac, which I think is a stone cold masterpiece. Like, a lot of people throw that word around. Like, anyway, a lot of people throw that word around with things that definitely do not fit that description. I personally believe that Zodiac is a perfect film, a very clinical, cold study of a very specific moment in time where a serial killer had an entire city, a major city of San Francisco, in complete terror. And it's the themes that it covers are just so erratic and wild and insane. And there's a moment early in the film at the Lake Berryessa scene where the Zodiac killer stabs a couple sunbathing. That is the scariest moment of any film that I've seen in a very long time, including all horror films. So Zodiac. Jumping to 2010, the next David Fincher film on my list is also The Social Network, which I think is also a perfect film. And definitely should have won Best Picture. And I agree with you, Megan, not only because it's a perfect film, but because it is so prescient about social media and its impact on our lives. Like,
yeah,
you could make an entire second film with the fallout from Mark Zuckerberg and creating the Facebook and all that stuff. So, Social Network. Let's see. Jumping 6 years, because apparently everything between 2011 and 2015 sucked. The Witch. David Eggers.
The Vivitch.
Yes, the Vivitch. The first appearance of, or at least my first understanding of Anya Taylor-Joy. Really crazy movie. I had no idea what it was going into it, and it's a crazy movie. 2017, Call Me by Your Name. 2019 had two films as well for me. One was Parasite, just a remarkable Best Picture winner, totally justified in winning. But also Quentin Tarantino's, what I think is his best film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then Power of the Dog would close out my list, which is, I think, the second best film of the first 25 years.
You mean after Coda, right?
Yeah, no.
I had Zodiac on my list and I actually took it off and I regret taking it off. I can't remember what I replaced it with. That
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine. It was Jesus Christ. During Pride. Oh, it's a pretty gay movie. It's that lake scene in the Zodiac is probably, that is such a fucking terrifying scene. Oh God, it's so good. That's a great movie.
Yeah. And I think David Fincher is perfectly suited to directing thrillers / horrors films because he directs things very clinically and he doesn't sort of gird you with suspense. He just presents the scene as it is, and he allows you to feel natural emotions, from that, because I think that Lake Berryessa scene doesn't have any music in it. Like, it doesn't have, it's got brilliant cutting. It's got, just the stark contrast of the Zodiac killer in that black outfit with the black bag and the bright sun and two people who are in a place that they think, no harm can come to them at all because, they're in the middle of the day, and oh my God, it's just terrifying.
Well, I think the thing that makes that actually so scary is the because he stabs them I think he ties them up, and then I don't need to see that again. That scene is so unbelievably embedded in my brain so vividly that he ties them up and then he stabs them to death. But the sound of the stabbing is so, I cannot unhear it. It's so it's sort of like I've never thought of like a murder scene like that ever again, because it's the sound of literally the sound of the knife hitting somebody's back. It's so scary to me.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and it's just so real. It's so real. I think that's what he brings. There's no artifice there whatsoever. It's 100% realistic. Anyway, so those are our films our favorite films, or our what we think are the tops. Let's put it that way. In the first quarter of the 21st century. So let's jump to another list. and we're going to go through films and television series, the best of 2025, halfway through the year. And Joey, why don't you start? Let's go with television series first.
I think I really have. Do you want me to do all of them?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I think I really have 4 that I can say. Like, I haven't finished Severance. What a slog that is. I'm sorry. I haven't finished The Last of Us. So stuff that I feel like is probably not, like, those aren't on my list. I'm so sorry to whatever, I don't know, apologize to. But I would probably say if I had to pick like a top something right now, I think right now for me the best show of the year is Adolescence. I was covering that show for the site, and I spoke to Jack Thorne and Aaron Doherty, who's in it, and the director, and Ashley Walters, and the composer. Well, I've talked to a lot of people. I think about the composer. I don't know. I just think it's really Jack Thorne, who wrote it. I really love talking to him because he has actually done a lot of films and television that revolve around young people. He wrote like the Enola Holmes films. He wrote Wonder. He wrote the play version of like the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. He told me that he's very interested in, because his childhood was like very emotional, very tumultuous. He said that he always keeps coming back to it. He's working on I think a TV adaptation of Lord of the Flies at the moment. And I don't know, I think since I've gone through that show, it's only 4 episodes. Some of it is really hard to watch. I think it takes your idea of what a mystery is and completely upends it. It gives you the who and, the where and the what at the end of the first episode, but then you're sort of left with this haunting question of why. And the series kind of deals with that, but it doesn't give you almost any answers because it is such a huge, vast thing. It sort of reminds me of, it's not really dramatic, but it's kind of like throwing a giant rock into a very placid lake. And it's like, sure, stuff will settle down, but like now there's a giant rock in the middle of the lake that wasn't there before. And I think the acting is incredible. And Owen Cooper, he's 14. This is his first thing he's ever done. He's fantastic in it. Stephen Graham, I want him to win that Emmy. He co-created the show. So that's what I think is probably my favorite thing that I've seen. Just to follow up with a couple other titles, I had a really hard time watching Pee-wee as himself, because I love Pee-wee Herman a lot. Probably it was sort of weird watching it. Like Pee-wee Herman has always been like a pretty influential person to me, but I felt like in a way, even though I knew a lot of stuff about him, it's just sort of, I don't know, it was difficult to watch for me, but I really enjoyed that as well. And then 2 comedies I would like to shout out, 2 ensemble comedies. I really love The Studio. I think some things work better than other things in it. But I think Barinholtz is great. I think Catherine O'Hara is really good. I think Seth Rogen's really good. I think that show really hinges on how much you like Seth Rogen or not. But I bought into it sort of wholeheartedly. I'm trying to resist any film Twitter. I don't know, sort of like my love and passion for it. I don't sort of want to be loved. I don't know. It's my passion for it is mine, and don't want to be lumped in with anybody else's. Trying not to be an asshole. And then the last show that I absolutely love that I'm really worried it's not going to get anything at the Emmys. It doesn't need this, whatever at the Emmys. But I really love The Residents.
Oh my God, I love that show.
I just think I was so kind of blown away by how it was constructed. And if they do a season 2, I want them to take years to do it. I just think the editing is really fun. The editing made me laugh. I thought Uzo Aduba had a chance in getting in Best Actress in a comedy when they were like 6. Now I don't think it's that possible because now Best Actress is going to be 5. Um, I don't know. It's just incredibly like stupidly deep character work, like character driven stuff in that show. And I liked it when I first watched it, but when I went back to, revisit stuff for Emmy season, I had a super, super, super deep appreciation for what it did. So those are my 4. And probably I'll think of something else whenever you guys talk about your stuff.
Megan, why don't you go?
So I have I echo a lot of the residents, definitely echo that. I have some Dying for Sex, I think is the best show on television this year. Close second is The Pit. I think The Rehearsal on HBO is also just incredible and interesting, part documentary, part comedy. I love The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which I think is doing stuff on reality television that I've never seen done before. And Poker Face, I also think is really fun, and I love it this year too. Those are like my top 5 probably.
I like Joey had 4, and it's really 3.5 because I'm not wildly in love with the latest season of Hacks. But I have had a hard time catching up to a lot of television this year because I haven't finished The Pit. There's a couple of other things that I haven't finished. Dying for Sex. Just been very distracted and very ADD lately. So I need to complete those, and very likely Hacks is going to fall off my list. But of what I've completed, that is one of at least I can appreciate the acting. I love the acting. Adolescence is also on my list. Obviously, The White Lotus, Thailand, it's on my list.
Oh God, I'm so stupid. Yeah. Jesus.
And The Gilded Age, which I have seen in its entirety, and I think this season is its best. Those are in no particular order, but I think The Gilded Age, this 3rd season, is the best they've had so far, and where it finally learns how to balance the sort of costume camp drama with actual, true, meaningful human emotions and themes. So, yeah. Those are my titles so far this year. All right. Let's jump to film. So I will kick things off with 3 that I've seen this year that I thought merited any kind of consideration for a best of list. The first one is Sinners. We talked about this beforehand, but I think it's a huge achievement. And it's something that, I don't know how it will fare at the end of the year in terms of the giant awards race, but I do think it's an entertainment that has a lot of meaning to it. And I think that should absolutely be celebrated. We seem to have lost the ability to make broad entertainments that are also thoughtful. So Sinners. Another one is To Kill a Wolf, when I call it an independent film, like that assumes it has any kind of budget. This one seemed to be micro budgeted, but I saw it at the Santa Barbara Film Festival. Mm-hmm. It's a debut film by Kelsey Taylor. It's a brilliant, brilliant film and a amazing directorial debut. So I highly recommend that. If wherever you can see it, you should definitely see it. And the third one on my list was a bit of a surprise as I look back across the year so far. A film that is not a great, it's a very entertaining film. It is not a quote unquote great film with a capital G, but that is Drop, starring Megan Faye. I loved that movie. I thought it was so incredibly entertaining, and it is so incredibly entertaining because of her central performance. She is fantastic in this, and I think she I just had the best time watching this movie. So those are my 3.
Good shit.
Megan, back to you.
So I have Secret Mall Apartment is a great documentary that have you seen it yet? It's so good. It's so good. So interesting. That's probably the best film I've seen this year so far. I also have my other ones are Friendship was just fun and idiotic and crazy. I liked Materialists. I don't care what anybody says. I thought it was just these are all like very original films that I'm picking. I also I have two films that I saw at Bentonville. Adult Children is really great. I know I mentioned that before, and I'm going to mention Rosemead too. Those are probably the most memorable films I've seen at festivals this year.
Excellent.
That's about it.
And Joey, close us out.
So I had to play a lot of catch up to preview the Flash Forward, but I liked a lot more than I expected because I thought, oh, I haven't seen everything that I would like to see, but I was like, no, I have a lot that I really like. I really like One of Them Days. With I just blanked on both of the women that are in that. Keke Palmer and SZA. It's such a really fun. I had a great time with that movie. Black Bag. I love that. I think that's on Peacock right now. So if anybody hasn't seen Black Bag, that's like a sexy, tight 90-minute Soderbergh movie. Love that. I was a big fan of Mickey 17. I really loved how I say this lovingly sloppy it was. I don't know. Really dug that. A movie that I saw through Sundance was Plain Clothes. It's something that hasn't been released yet. It is about a closeted cop who basically starts hooking up with somebody that he was probably supposed to arrest, but it uses a device of I've heard some people not like this, the sort of like grainy video camera. It cuts to that back and forth a lot in the cinematography, but I really enjoyed it. I Don't Understand You with Andrew Rannells and Nick Kroll. My review of that is incredibly late, but it's like it's really pointed, really funny characters that are not afraid to I don't want to say do bad things, but do bad things. It felt like a movie that the characters weren't worried about what people on Twitter were saying about them. Sort of on the reverse of that, A Nice Indian Boy. I just think it's a really sweet gay romantic comedy starring Karen. Happy Pride, starring Karan Soni or Karen Soni. I'm so sorry, sir. I don't. Yeah. I've seen it a few times. I just think it's really earnest in the best way. It should, in my opinion, be as big as My Big Fat Greek Wedding. So fight me. And something that I saw just this weekend, after we watched Drag Race, is I'm giving a legitimate shout out to Final Destination Bloodlines. Ooh. Because that movie was so much fucking fun. I laughed so much. It was like me, Jason, and like 4 of our friends. And it was just like, we were like laughing all the way through it. We were like squealing all the way through it. We were like yelling out theories the whole time. It was just like a really fun, so violent. so violent. And bloody. A lot of people get squished in it. That's all I'm going to say. You have a fear of people getting squished. Don't watch that movie. But it's like, I wasn't even a really big fan of the Final Destination movies. Like, they're fine, but like, I was about to say Return to Form, a form that I don't really care about. Return to Form. That was honestly one of the most entertaining movies I've seen in a very long time. So if you haven't seen it, you can rent it on Amazon.
I do have one more that I wanted to shout out after you're done. I forgot.
Sure, I'm done.
Okay, I wanted to shout out Christina Costantini's Sally, the documentary Sally about Sally Ride.
Oh, heard that's good.
It's really good. So I forgot to mention that one. Joey, I need to see Final Destination now.
It's so good. Without any irony, I think it's such a fucking good movie. Some people might say it's gonna belong on your New York Times top 20 of the next 25 years. Maybe it will. I don't know. Stuck my dick, film Twitter.
Wow.
Wow.
I saw the first 3 minutes of that, the flash,
Yeah.
the 1960
Yeah.
sequence on top of, what is it, the Sears Tower or whatever.
It's like the Space Needle, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, nope, not watching this whole thing.
It's so just why didn't you like it?
No, I thought
Just anxiety inducing.
Yes, it is literally all of my biggest fears wrapped up into one whole package.
There was at one point where like we were watching it and Jason's like, "Oh, we've never been to Seattle," and then like literally 7 minutes later, and he's like, "We're not going there." I don't know. It's just there's just like a lot of happening in my head when we were watching that movie. So fun time.
That's great. I think it's I think it's fun to include things that are maybe not quote unquote great films with a capital G, but things that again are entertaining, that you have a great time watching it. I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that I think all of our lists are really good. Something that I want to just say to like the general kind of consciousness of anyone who's listening, it's just that no one can like pressure you to tell you what is great. And that is something that I think we bemoan a lot on this podcast, like right, and we're in the steep of like Oscar stuff. And it's sort of like I get real mad at like opinion condescension almost.
Yes.
And it's just like, we're not all the same. We're not all robots. What someone views as great, someone can view as garbage, and what someone thinks is garbage, someone else can think is great. So like anyone who makes any kind of list, whether it's now, whether it's at the end of the year, whether it's the New York Times thing, like don't try to do it for other people, because then it's not yours. So
it's not genuine.
Yeah, exactly. Not to like get all after school special about it, but there it is. It's just, it drives me nuts. We will have better conversations about media, film, and television if you just are fine with standing alone in your opinion. That's all.
I will say this. I totally agree with what you said. And I will go one step beyond and say, there's somebody that we were all associated with previously until August of last year.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of things that we don't agree with. But there was one thing that I personally agreed with, which was the hive mind in terms of the film conversation kills a lot of this discussion, because everybody has to migrate to the same predictions. Everybody has to migrate to the same best of lists. And it kills individuality, the sense of the individual. It kills originality. It kills any kind of fun out of it, and I agree with that perspective.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, if we all declare that we all like the same thing as much as everyone else does, 5 stars on Letterboxd, all caps, Twitter reactions, it was like, that is so goddamn boring. And by the end of January, like, no wonder y'all are like looking at Oscars 2028, because you might be bored at everything that you're saying because it's all the same. I don't know, but here we are.
All right. Very good. So let's jump to the flash forward to the media we're most anticipating in the upcoming week. And Joey, why don't you go first?
Oh God, I have so many movies to catch up on. I never got a chance to watch Echo Valley. I'm going to watch it and review it for the website. I want to see Materialist. I want to see Phoenician Scheme. I want to see 28 Years Later. I want to see Friendship. Literally have not seen anything. Can I please tell you really quick the conversation that I had with Jason? Because I was like, do you want to go to a 6:30 showing of 28 Years Later? And he was like, okay, that's fine. And so then as we were like getting ready, he was just like, 28 Years Later, that's the sequel to 28 Days Later? And I was like, no. I said, well, technically, yes, but it's the sequel to 28 Weeks Later. He goes, what's 28 Weeks Later? And I was like, the sequel to 28 Days Later. Days, weeks, years, they go in order. And he goes,
we were cheated from months.
I know. And he was just like, I don't think I remember seeing that one. And then, so I was like, let me just show you the trailer of 28 Weeks Later. And like, you'll get the gist of what it was. It's like, none of the characters are the same. They all die, whatever. It's what, like, just to give you just a glimmer into what it is. And then, so we're watching it, and it's getting ready to be the credits. And he, in the most genuine way, turns to me and he goes, "Oh, this is about zombies?" And I was like, "I'm not seeing them." I was like, "Okay, so we're not seeing 20." I was like, "Please tell me," I didn't say this, but I was like, "Please tell me you thought it was a sequel to the Sandra Bullock goes to AA drama 28 Days." I didn't ask him that, but I thought it in my head. So I did not see 28 Years Later because I felt bad, leaving right for dinner to go, but I haven't seen that. Someone asked me today, like, "Do you want to go see How to Train Your Dragon?" And I'm like, "I can watch the animated one at home." And I don't even know what comes out this week, and I'm getting just very behind. Oh no, Megan comes out this week, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
What does?
Megan 2.0.
2.0.
Oh yes, that's what I'm going to see this week.
I think we can all agree that number one, that is all our most anticipated film of this weekend, and
Probably.
number two, we'll be talking about it on next week's podcast.
Yes,
and we will be talking about it in 25 years when we make our lists.
Although, according to Clarence, we'll be dead in 25 years.
I did not say 25 years. I said in 75 years.
Well, it'll be my floating head that'll be talking to everybody.
Oh, yes, like that Simpsons episode.
Like Zombie from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Just as much makeup. Yeah.
Yes. I will jump in then, unless Joey's got more.
I'm done. Just every single movie that's come out in the last 2 months, I'm going to try to squeeze it into a week. Here we go.
I have some screeners to watch, like the Nobu documentary that I need to see. I've got that to watch. There are other things that I need to see still too. This show that comes out tonight on Hulu, Disney, Born to Be Viral, The Real Lives of Kidfluencers. Kidfluencers looks right up my alley. Like, very excited about that. And I need to listen to the new Haim album because I've been really into that band lately. Again, like it's like 2012 all over again. And that's I'm sure I'll think of something later. I'm sure I'm missing something right now, but that is all I can think of right now.
I have to say, I refreshed my Twitter feed, and I have to say, Megan, I love the fact that you did your If I'm Being Honest picks, and there are two movies that weren't even in the list from which you can choose.
I added them in. Joey will be very pleased with one of them.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Amazing. All right. For me, Megan 2.0.
Right.
And on the TV front, continuing my first watch of The Pit. Haven't gotten to any other episodes since the first episode. I had to take a breather from that one and gear ourselves up for more gore. But two things premiere this week without widespread critical screening support, which is always a questionable sign. One is The Bear season 4. They have not released screeners for that yet, at least not to average critics like myself. But the second one is Squid Game season 3, which
is coming out already.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, glad I'm on top of it.
Which season 2 wasn't as good as season 1, but it stuck with me weirdly. There's one really great sequence in there, and there's a great character. But so I'm anxious to see kind of how it wraps itself up in season 3 or the second half of season 2. I don't even know anymore. And then continuing my read of A Clash of Kings and my fourth rewatch of Game of Thrones while I'm at the gym. I will say it was a little uncomfortable. I was at the gym today on the treadmill, and Peter Baelish, or Littlefinger, if you remember Game of Thrones, was teaching two women how to have sex.
Oh God!
Like hot.
I'm like, what? Like, this is completely unnecessary and not in the book at all. Like, I thought George R. R. Martin was the perv in the situation. It is very clearly Benioff and Weiss. Anyway,
what have they done since then? Oh, that one thing.
They did the 3-body problem.
Yeah, the thing that no one watched. Does that mean?
I watched it.
Okay, the thing that Clarence watched.
I know. I watched it for the thing that was supposed to be their next Game of Thrones, and then Netflix cut the series order down to like another season. Just one more season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So does that cover it?
Yeah.
All right. This was a fun one. So let's get the hell out of here. Well, that's probably weird. This was fun. So let's run away. Sorry, English. So we are the 3M's contributors, Joey Moser, Megan McLaughlin, and me, Clarence Moore. Thank you for joining us, asking you to remember to rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever else you find us, and wishing you a very pleasant tomorrow.